Okay, so this is going along with our Math Whittle week 4. And we're going to go through the answer of this. First, I'll restate the question. Essentially that this triangle, this is like a balance beam. So think of these as being equal, that this pentagon, upwards arrow, and star are equal to the right arrow, upwards arrow, and 2 pentagons. And if that's the case, in the next situation, if the pentagon and star are equal to the upwards arrow and the right arrow, then what one shape would the 2 pentagons be equal to? So just one shape. So there's a couple ways you can go about this. One of the ways we're going to do is I'm going to assign it letters, okay? Kind of like algebraic, okay? So let's say the pentagon would be equal to an X, okay? Our upwards arrow, we'll call it a Y, and we'll put the star as a Z. And that is equal to, we don't have anything for the right, so we'll call the right the letter A. Upwards arrow we already gave as a Y, and the pentagon are 2 X's. Okay, with that being said, we can kind of cancel things out. We know that X would be equal to X, correct? So in other words, we'll use our black, I guess, here to cancel out both of our X's. And the same would be true if we were using the shapes. You know, there's a pentagon on each side, so we can cancel a pentagon out. We can also cancel out the Y's on both sides. So the upward arrow and the upward arrow cancel out. And that leaves us with our star, or Z, is equal to our A and our X, which in our case, I guess we'll copy them. Copy and paste here. What it's saying is star is equal to, let's see if we click it, there you go. Copy, star is equal to our A and our X. Here we go. Sorry, that took a bit. Okay, so we have this statement. So let's plug in what we had before. Remember we called our pentagon X again. So this is our X. And our star was our Z. Is equal to, so we have one statement. Our upwards arrow was our Y. And our rightwards arrow was our A. Okay. So we have our information here. And what we do know is that we can replace our Z. We can replace that star. We can replace that star with our rightwards arrow and our pentagon. In other words, we can replace Z with A and X. Okay, so we're going to do that in this case. What we're going to do is we're going to move out the star and the Z, right? Because we already know that the star or Z is equal to our AX or our rightwards arrow and our pentagon. Okay, and that's our A and our X. So we've moved them in to replace that. So we know these things are still balanced if we do that because our Z before was equal to that. So with that, let's cancel out some common terms. Well, our common term here is technically our A. Our A is a common term, which is our rightward arrow. So in other words, this is telling us is these 2 pentagons are equal to a Y. So 2 X's are equal to Y. So exactly what you get, let's copy it and paste it. It turns out, let's get rid of our question mark, that our 2 pentagons are equal to our upwards arrow, which we had called Y. So in other words, our 2 X's or 2X would be equal to our Y, or 2 pentagons equal to our upward arrow. Now another way somebody else had solved this for me, and I thought it was a pretty good way to go about it, is in this one, and I'll have to go back a bit. Let's put what we had before. Remember I had a Z before, so I'm going to move, oops, wrong thing here. I'm going to move some of these things back to where they were. This was our A, right? Let's delete that part. Okay. So our A was over here, our X was here, and we said Z was equal to that. And remember we had a star in place, or in other words, our Z. Okay? Our star was in place, which was our Z. Now, what we had just figured out is that the Z, and I'm going to get rid of these things there. Good. Let's erase that stuff so it's kind of out of our way. So let's think back to our second step here. Somebody else had shown me another way to go about this. Instead of just eliminating and substituting in, what this person did is they said, okay, we have a z, and instead of actually substituting this in for the z, what they did is add something to both sides of the equation. Remember, we knew that this star, or the z, was equal to a rightward arrow, which we already have, and a pentagon, but this doesn't have a pentagon on this side. So, according to our algebra rules, I can add a pentagon to both sides if I like. And I'm going to do that. I'll make this... Give me one sec. There we go. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll add a pentagon to each side, which is essentially like adding, and I'll write the letters in, an x to each side. Okay? It's like adding an x to each side. Well, with that being said, we already know that the star is equal to a rightwards arrow and a pentagon. In other words, this star can be canceled out by crossing out a pentagon and a rightwards arrow. So we go about doing that, cross out our star and our rightwards arrow and our pentagon, and we don't even have to get to the third step. We've already set up the next question down here, that two pentagons are equal to our y. So that's another way somebody had gone about solving it. I hope you enjoyed that one, and we'll have another one up in the next little bit. Good luck.